Caring for a loved one with dementia can be so overwhelming, exhausting, and isolating. But what if there was a way to transform this journey? What if this journey we could lead with connection? Welcome back to the Legacy of Love podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Eckline. And in today's conversation, I'm honored to introduce you to someone who was on my dream list for the podcast from the very beginning, Teepa Snow. Teepa is a leading educator in dementia care and the founder of the Positive Approach to Care. In our discussion, Teepa challenges the traditional caregiver role, advocating for a care partner approach that fosters collaboration and dignity. Whether you're a family member, a professional, or really anyone navigating the complexities of caregiving, this episode offers insights to empower and support both you and your loved one. As a mother and as a professional fiduciary, I know there were so many nuggets of wisdom that I took away from this conversation. So I hope you find it as meaningful as I did. Teepa Snow, welcome to the Legacy of Love podcast. I'm so happy you're here with me.
I'm glad to be here with a podcast name like that. How could you not be?
Oh, thank you. Well, as we start off this conversation, I love to hear the story of what really brought you to this work, to writing so many books on dementia and caregiving, to start basically a whole curriculum and certification, the positive approach to care. I'm sure there's a story there.
Well, there are probably many stories there. I've always been an incredibly curious human being from, as my mother would say, from the time you could discover things. How many gumballs can you fit in your mouth at one time at the age of 2? The answer is 7, and the 8 really just fits right in the front. Um, and then you're not allowed to have gumballs anymore.
I have a 2-year-old, so I understand.
Yeah, I know. How high can you climb and then find that you can't get back down? Pretty high, actually. So I'm a risk taker. And so, as a risk taker, when I was a teenager, I was fascinated and became really involved with working with kids with developmental disabilities who had, during my era, which was it was early 1970s, late 60s, early 70s, they were closing down state institutions and saying, oh no, actually the autism wasn't caused by a cold mother, it was caused by something else. So here are your kids back. We thought that we could help. We didn't help. It was cerebral palsy. Oh, we don't know really well. Okay, here you go. And so they were sending kids back home, and families were like, but you, but what am I supposed to do? Because you told me, so I got an opportunity as a teenager. A small group of us got together and we did a lot of volunteer work with kids with developmental disabilities who were placed back into home. It was before the age of inclusion in classrooms, those kinds of things. And so we served like at the local YMCA as a resource. And that was sort of the first place where I started to realize people say people can't do things. Well, they can. And I didn't know the language of neurodiversity or neuroplasticity, but I started to find out, well, Michael, although he can't do some other things, he can do some other things. And what we have to do is plug into what he can do. So by the time I graduated high school, I was either going to go into special ed or become a medical provider of some sort. So I went to college, went to Duke, went to UNC. And during that time, I continued to work with people with different abilities. And it started to be older adults with different abilities and people who've had strokes or head injuries and different abilities. And so ultimately, I became an occupational therapist and had opportunities to work in head injury, stroke, developmental disability, and then aging. And so really gravitated to working with people with big brain differences and figure out what was possible. And that's where it all started because I'd see others struggle and really have disagreements about things. And sit down. What are you doing? John, no, stop it. And he's like, wow, sounds like you're talking to a 3-year-old. I look over and it's like, he's a 92-year-old. He's a veteran. Was a paratrooper. Really not going to work well. So I said, John, hey, what you need, man? And he was like, well, I got to go pee. It's like, well, let's go. And it's a different way of being. So that for me is like, okay, maybe I can help other people figure this out.
I love that.
Long story.
It it's a great story, and it very much resonates. There, I mean, for me, I do special needs trust, so there's a lot of my clients that are on that neurodiverse
Yeah,
spectrum and disabled, but I totally agree. I even hate that using that word because there's so many
abilities.
abilities, and there's also so many gifts that come with that as
Right.
well. And then of course I work with a lot of seniors, and typically once I get involved, there's some sort of diagnosis, and a lot of times it is dementia.
And it's all about the empty and the loss versus the change. Wow. So so they'll say, well, he can't do anything. And it's like, all right. So why are you so upset? Well, he does X and X. And it's like, well, sounds like he's using his abilities. How can we reprogram? Because it sounds like you're not happy with what it is that's going on. Well, yeah, because I have to tell him all the things. And it's like, okay, so that's different. Yeah. So what happens if you say, hey, John? She said, well, he come over. And I said, okay, did you tell him anything? Well, no, but, and it's like, so what you're not liking is different. And it's like, okay, now the next step is you're grieving the loss of what you had. Yeah. So if we can't figure out how to celebrate what you have the possibility for, it's going to be a really long journey.
Yeah. Just as a parent, I read a lot. Having a toddler of positive discipline. So I feel like you're kind of
Yeah.
that, you know, not that it's discipline. It's obviously different when you're working with a 90-year-old with dementia versus a toddler, but there's similarities.
There are a lot of similarities.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
different approach.
It's really that, like looking for what's possible. And it's like, why is he doing what he's doing? Well, there's obviously a reason for it. Whether I agree with the reason, I mean, he wouldn't be doing it if he didn't think there was some value in it. So it's like, is he going out the door because he can't tolerate the amount of stuff that's going on in here? Or is he going out the door because he noticed something out the window and he figured out how to open the door to get to the thing that's out the window? It's like, well, let's get curious. Let's not sit in judgment of, where are you going? Don't go out that door. Stop. Because it means I'm interrupting. And it's like, I don't even know what he's doing. So maybe I should be curious first and then figure out how to support what's going on or divert.
Well, that so, ties in perfectly with, right, where we started with this story, with your story and journey of curiosity,
Yeah.
right? Of being a
I mean,
curious
that's
child.
what really leads me to everything I do. Usually, I've got to, if I'm not curious, I'm probably not very fun to be with.
Well, I would love to ask and for you to speak on this. So I know that you use kind of different language, and you do
Mhm.
not like the term caregiver. You use care partner.
So if I just started, Sarah, like taking your shirt off, and I said to you, well, your hand today, and hang it off, okay? And I smile at you and I nod at you, okay? Without too much trouble, I can usually get somebody to go, okay. I mean, even though you don't understand what I say I'm going to do. Then when I put my hands on you, your brain goes, whoa, 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 what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's because I never actually communicated what I thought I was going to communicate. So that's caregiving because I'm trying to give you care.
Mm.
I go, oh, hey, Sarah, your shirt right down right here. And I get you to look down at your shirt and I say, you got something here. And I hold up a fresh shirt. I say, let's trade. And I say, now, here, may I? Yeah. And it's partnering because what I want to use is you to help you do as much as you can because I want to partner in this with you. And it may take me a few more minutes, but it's about our relationship, not about getting that shirt changed. I mean, we think it's about getting the shirt changed, but the only way the shirt's going to get changed is if I'm willing to change my idea of giving care to you and recognize It's your body, it's your shirt. You're still a mature adult or a teenager, whatever. But in my world, it's like, how do I get permission? How do I seek and get permission? And if I can't get permission, is it care?
That resonates so much on so many levels. My grandmother had Alzheimer's and it was a very long journey and she moved
Mm,
multiple times in that
yep,
journey. And my grandmother, was always fiercely independent.
yep.
And especially, as she really declined, she got
Mhm.
very combative. And it took a lot of advocating and also training staff of, this is who she is and these are her preferences and she loves chocolate. And
And if you really want to work with her because it's her life she's trying to live. By the way, you're getting paid money to do this.
yes,
It's like,
yeah,
and it's skill. It takes skill.
it's a skill. And I think that that's,
It's not for everybody.
as a professional, I remember going in early on in my career and you kind of assume, like at assisted living facilities, that there's this level of understanding and training. And really, there's, yeah, none.
There's zero requirement. I mean,
Yeah.
what we have to realize as a society and as individuals, there is nationally no requirement of a skill demonstration related to dementia or a knowledge demonstrated of dementia to open a service and say, you serve people living with dementia. I mean, you don't have to have anything.
Wow.
You can
Wow.
sit and watch a video and get a tick mark for a number of hours spent maybe watching, maybe not watching. There's no quiz. There's no requirement that you have to have gotten anything from the video. You just have to watch this video or listen to this person talk. And that number of hours, whatever it is, 6, 12, whatever they've decided, 3, 2, 1 in Florida, that's all you need to then be able to serve. I mean, that's it.
Wow. So, with what you just said, I am thinking I want to pull that thread. I'm thinking that this is where you started the positive approach to care and having a certification and
There's nothing that's based on skill. And if you're going
wow.
to care for somebody who has changing abilities, I don't see how you can do that without skill. I mean, it confounds, like you can't be how you used to be. I mean, you just can't. It's not because you don't want to. I mean, it has nothing to do with it. You simply cannot do the things you were able to do. But that doesn't mean you're totally not able. It means, wow, now I need to really pay attention to what you can do so that you still get to do that part. And I support what's not possible for you to do. And maybe we change something like the environment or the task or the demand or the time of day. What do we change so you still can do it or participate in it? That's what should be, in my mind, for anybody living with brain changes or neurodiversity. Those of us who have capacity, I truly believe what's wrong with using the capacity to be supportive.
100%. I love what you're doing. So, with the certification,
Mhm.
I'm thinking you have different levels based
We
on,
do.
are you a non-professional, like just a caring family member that
Yep.
wants to do your best and also,
Yep.
I'm assuming, also be supported in the process?
For
You know,
sure.
boy, it's a
Yep.
lot and it
It's a
takes a
lot.
team.
I think one of the biggest mistakes, I mean, people make the mistake of thinking, oh, it's not that bad. I think I can handle this. I can do this. And they get into that situation and they stay in it for a while. And then they start to realize, oh man, this is going to be a lot. Unfortunately, the person living with the brain changes of dementia now gets used to them being the only person. And now it feels to me like you don't want to be with me anymore. You want somebody else to be here instead. Why? What have I done? No, no, no. I just want you. And now we've created a problem. Whereas before, if you'd brought somebody in early on where we all could have gotten used to each other, this would be a different place. So, this whole idea of team building is so critical.
I so agree with you. And,
Oh,
I know that very personally. My grandfather was the primary caregiver for my grandmother for, I think it was about, 4 years
Yep.
where, it was really declined. And he was always just, fiercely wanted privacy. He didn't want to have caregivers in the home.
Mhm.
And
Didn't want the family to worry.
yes, yeah, and just I can handle it. And unfortunately, it took, a really bad fall, my grandmother
Yep.
breaking her pelvis, where she was placed in rehab, and then it really wasn't safe for her to go back
Yep.
home. And Teepa, I kid you not, I think within 2 months of my grandmother being set up with care, he passed away.
Yep. You got it. He gave everything
Yeah.
in a it's not a marathon, in a sprint.
Yeah.
And he needed, it would have worked so much better
Yeah.
to have realized this is a marathon. So let's work toward the marathon idea.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you lost him prematurely.
Oh, absolutely. And it was like, not putting your own oxygen mask on first, not
Yeah.
building a team support, just them being really isolated.
Yeah.
It's not good for him. And I also see for, my grandmother, it could have looked
Horribly,
different.
horribly painful to lose the only support she'd had. And then all these other places felt like prison camps and felt like really miserable places for her because she really missed that relationship that she could never have again.
Yeah.
I mean, what a
Yeah.
hard place for her to be.
Oh, it was so hard. Yeah, it was really hard. And it's, when I working with clients, it's like, of course I think most of us want to stay in our home for as long as
Mhm.
possible.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I think now with the cost of care, once it's looking like 24/7, it's becoming harder and harder to have that possible.
Yeah. And that's where you, as you say, we've got to build some skill. And so the skill that we build often with family members is to first look at yourself. Are you actually somebody who's going to be able to do this hands on caring, or are you a navigator? Like you're good at navigating, but doing it may be different. Like, what are your strengths and where are you not so good? So, figuring that out becomes really key. So, we really help family members sometimes make choices and do this idea of, you know what? I can do like friendly stuff, but I'm not really good at the hands on care stuff. She don't like me doing it. It's like, okay, well, that's where we want to build team support then. And we need skilled team members who physically know how to do things and socially knew how to do things. So we have champions, what we call PAC champions. And it's a certification where you work on your actual hands on skills and your verbal skills. And, oh, Sarah, look at this. Look at that. Kindness? Do you think kindness?
Yeah.
Oh, take a look at this. Same thing. Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Now, and what I just did is got you to take a drink, which is different than Sarah, you need to drink. Sarah, you don't want to end up at the hospital again, do you, Sarah? But that's a skill. I mean, that's actually a skill. How do you say, oh, Sarah, can we try something?
Yeah.
Now, why are you nodding your head? Yes.
Yeah. You want to try something?
So those are positive action starters. So we actually help people develop these ways of being with someone that result in outcomes that are like, number of people go, you know what? I tried it. It worked. It's like, good to know.
Yes, I love that. So building kind of your tool belt.
Yeah. And then we do have people who want to train others. So they become certified trainers. We might have coaches. How do you practice that skill till you get good at it? Well, you need a coach. How do you do consultations so that people are looking at pieces of the puzzle and putting them together and not trying to fix the person with dementia, but rather look at the stakeholders, look at the environment, look at how they're using time. Let's look at, what are the resources they have? And let's put the puzzle together. And now let's look, a situation. And then we have engagement leaders and we have champion teachers who actually like teach new champions so they have skill teaching. And then the last one is we have leaders that it turns out many communities need leaders who value the people who work there, the people they serve, and the families they serve. And you would think that's part of administration training. Not so much for dementia.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see that in my practice.
It's sort of like there's a locked door. That's what we put the people who are a problem with the locked door. It's like, eh, let's talk about what's going on behind the locked door then.
Yeah,
They pay
yeah,
more.
I
They pay more
know.
to be on the other side of the locked door. But I mean, I think most of them don't know that they've been imprisoned. So they're really surprised that they can't go out. So how are you going to manage that?
Have you been having like, I'm thinking like memory care facilities like come in and do this training? Because I think that this is like, wow.
Yeah. And because we require skill, it's like, yeah, we want to do it. Oh, this is really hard. And it's like, yeah, no one's holding anybody accountable. We will. It's not just you're going to give us watch 3 videos and give us some money and we'll put a stamp on your door. Mm-mm. If you really want to do this, here's what it's going to take. People actually have to deliver the skills. I mean, we want to come and see. And I can always tell this is one of our communities that's doing well. When I walk in the door and the person living with looks up and says, "Hi, I'm Teepa," and they hold their hand out, it means people are doing that with them so often that they
Oh,
believe someone's entered their space and should be greeted. Just like when someone enters their space, they are greeted. They are not treated like pieces of furniture you walk by.
oh,
I can always tell it's starting to happen because the eyes come up and they make eye contact. And people who've turned into just sitting there waiting are now people who own the space and they recognize and they go, "Well, hey, I'm Teepa." And they look at you like, "And you are?" And you get the idea. I mean, they're learning new skills and it always shows.
oh, that just makes me want to cry. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it speaks to where we are and where we should be. I mean, we don't need it to be the way it is, but it's going to take us deciding to change the status quo. I mean, and that's what we believe. The status quo is going to change.
Oh, it's
None of
got
us would
to.
actively choose to want to be in a place that you're paying anywhere on average, I guess, 9,000 to 20,000 a month.
Yeah, I know.
And 90% of those locations basically are watching videos at best with no testing of knowledge or skill.
Do you have on your website, like, we can go search facilities that have gone through this certification?
We do. They're called our designated communities. It's hard work and you can't do it overnight. I mean, this is not a quick fix. We don't believe in a quick fix. There's no magic.
Oh,
This is hard work, but it's also very doable work. One of our statements is it's not rocket science, but there is an art and science to it. And there's a personal commitment to it. It really is important that you decide it's about relationship, not getting tasks done.
that resonates so much. And it's just so much of what I find in my work. It's like it really is the relationship. And
Mhm.
for me, as, a professional fiduciary and trustee, that's where, I never see it as sales, like when I'm working
Mm-mm.
with or having a consultation, because it's like it's a two-way street. We're either going to work well together and I'm your person, or we're
Mhm.
not. And
Not a
there's
good match.
yeah, and there's
Yeah.
wonderful professionals that are, but to
Mhm.
me, the being able to do this work, the foundation is this relationship built on trust and mutual respect. And to me, that should just seem obvious. I agree with you. The more that you interact in the larger world and with different agencies, or where you're like, oh, like this isn't just phoning it in and watching a video. This really comes down to skill and
Mhm.
changing how we're looking at even like a diagnosis. Like if you're going in just like, this is something that I need to fight or problem solve, or this is the problem, you're going to be having like a very different relationship and
Yep.
connection, whether you're a professional or just a family and love,
Or a family member.
yeah, a
Yeah.
family member. So
Yeah.
that's where I just really applaud the work that you're doing. And I think it's, this is how we change the world.
Yeah. We say one mind at a time, but the reality is we've got a lot of changing to do, but I don't know another way around it because it's not going to go away. There's no sudden cure that's going to come up and hit all the 200 plus types of dementia. I mean, it's so complicated, and people are like, well, we're waiting for the cure. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
guys, well, there's going to be a lot of people living with dementia and dying related to their dementia before we ever get close to the ultimate quote unquote cure for anybody. And I mean, right now there's no prevention, it's risk reduction. I mean, can we reduce your risk?
Can we talk about that? Because
Yeah,
I would love
yeah,
I would love to know what
yeah,
are some of your tips for this
yeah. So
prevention?
some of mine is like healthy stress you should do to build resilience. I truly believe having stress, a little stress in your life is not a bad thing. So therefore, I believe in going out and walking vigorously or running or swimming or doing something regularly because that stresses your heart a little bit. And you need to do it regularly. You want regular doses of this stuff, not like I'm going to weekend warrior it. And it's like, it's a really bad idea because that's high stress or distress. So, but it's also socializing. Like being social is vital for human beings, but it means I need to find the right people to be social with in the right situations. So it's a little bit stressful. I have to participate. I have to use what I've got. I've got to use my brain, but I don't want to go play trivia with people who are like watching movies every week so that I can never be successful if it's a movie trivia thing. I want to be in with a group that I feel good about, and I don't mind, sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. That's great because I want to be in the mid zone of successful, challenged, but I'll grow from that and I'll improve. Want to eat things that are not so stressful to my system. So I want to look at putting in things that are going to get rid of crap that I shouldn't have, and not so much stuff that's like making it hard on my blood sugars. So maybe increasing my fruits, vegetables, maybe my whole grains, if that's it, reduce how much red meat and meat I'm putting in, looking at that and how much, look at portion size and look at time of day. When am I taking in my most calories? And when am I being more thoughtful about calories going in? Because I'm going to sit with them and not do a whole lot with them overnight. How about breathing? How about laughter? How about things like really doing things that give you a sense of value and purpose with great regularity? So you feel so satisfied. Like, I made a difference. I did something. How about drinking enough fluids so that you're not dehydrated? Because a little bit of stress, yeah, you can exercise, wear out your fluids, but then put it right back in. Don't get into distress. So plan ahead. Do a little planning ahead so you can relax into the moment. But don't get so worried about what's tomorrow that you can't even get going today. And then bring enough people around you that you can take a break when you need one. But don't stay in the bed all day. Get enough sleep, but not too much.
I love it. It's like so it reminds me of I'm assuming maybe you've seen or heard about the Blue Zone diet where you're like this this really like it's kind of
The reason
basic.
it's a blue zone is because it's good for you. It's
Yeah.
like, look, promotion, health promotion. Yeah, we should really be in health promotion. Get outside, hear
Yeah.
bird song. Yeah, I mean, beautiful stuff. And if we let ourselves do it, wow,
Right.
take somebody with us.
Our own well-being. I mean, that's something, just obviously being the professional and
Oh, we're at risk. We're at super high risk
absolutely.
because we take all this and it's like, how are we letting go of it? You take a lot of it in. I mean, you're supporting sometimes incredible family situations,
Yes.
incredible individuals who are struggling mightily against a system that is really trying to squish and eliminate the choice that they should have. Try to figure out how to support that and get it in place and hold it. You particularly, Sarah, like, how do you keep
Mhm.
the resources on hand to
Yeah.
let it be the way you want it to be? And people's misunderstanding about things like Medicare and Medicaid and how long a resource is going to last is like, well, that'll be 2 months. What do you got for the next one?
Yeah, I know.
No idea. Everybody's so scared of it, they never look at it until they need it. And then they're like,
And then it's too late. Yeah.
how much? I thought I
Yeah.
had plenty saved. It's like, get a little hot.
I know. Well, and for me, it's been so much of my path, also just becoming a mother 3 years
Mhm.
ago. It's like, wow, that was what really kind of put things over the edge for me. And realizing like, my own well-being, obviously it needs to be like the
Balance? What
foundation.
balance?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, like these basic things like getting outside every day and walking and moving and eating healthy foods and staying hydrated and feeling
It seems so simple.
connected.
It's like,
Yes.
but there's laundry. It's like, yep, put
Yeah.
it in and get outside. But
Yeah.
it's like, start somewhere.
So for listeners that are in a care partner role, right?
Yep.
What's one thing that you would want them to just start with if they listen to this podcast? Is it a book? Is it a quote, or just something to keep top of mind to kind of to just do to support themselves and their loved one with dementia?
I'm going to give you two. The first is really give yourself permission 5 times a day to really breathe.
Oh,
Set it on your alarm and actually work on box breathing. Give yourself permission to recharge your batteries. Getting oxygen into your system is so vital. And when you're in living and you're like, oh God, okay, now I need you to sit back down. Oh, no, 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 hang on a second. Okay, let me get you in your seat. Okay, good. Okay, let me go get the food. Okay, got it. Yeah. We're only staying in the top 1/3 of our lungs most of the day. And every crack, okay, here we go again. And your brain is actually not getting, and your body's not getting the oxygen you need. So, I mean, just working on this breathing idea drops cortisol level. I mean, it really makes a difference. It drops your cortisol level. And that's really vital when it comes to care partnering. And then you start to learn, okay, when I hear that, oh, ow, I can go, hey, mom, sounds like something's going on. Yeah, the knife's in my hand. And your brain can go, the knife's in your hand. I'm coming. But I breathed before I went. So I didn't go, Mom, what are you doing? It's like not a helpful phrase with somebody who has a knife. I mean, I think it's obvious she was trying to do something and it didn't work out. Learning that art of being able to take care of yourself before you're in the moment of needing to care with someone else and support someone, breathing is so underrated.
I feel that.
I mean, and you have to rehearse. Nobody would think, what do you mean breathing? It's like, it matters because without realizing it, you're starting to hold your breath about the other shoe that's about to drop. And you're waiting for the moment that she says, get out, leave me alone. And it's like, oh, no, don't do that. I need to get you in the car to go to the doctor's office. And it's like, the more I look like this, the less likely I'm going to get you in the car to go to the doctor's office. And doing, yeah, you're not really wanting to go. Me either. But it's going to cost us $200 whether we go or not. Tell you what, how about we stop for ice cream after? Let's get it over with. And learning that art, I mean, that is an art. So the other piece I would say is you need to learn to use your pipes. And that stands for prepare, initiate, seek participation, evaluate, and either sustain it or switch it. And it's a way we look at when you're going to want to do something with someone in care partner mode. How do you prepare ahead? Then how do you initiate that request? And it's real different than say, oh, hey, Sarah, let me help you with that. What's the message I just sent you? You're incompetent. Yeah. And I say, oh, hey, Sarah, could you help me with something for a second? I have this jacket. See if it fits. It's one of your ones you've had for a bit. And I don't know whether it still fits or not. Here. Okay, go put your arm in. Excellent. Okay, now, how's that feel? Oh, you know what? Well, son of a gun, I just realized it's about time for us to head out. You know what I thought we could do on the way back? Ice cream. Come on, let's get in the car. I'll tell you about it when we get in there. because I know if I bring up the doctor's office, you're going to have 20 zillion reasons why we shouldn't get in the car. You know what I'm going to tell you? We're going to get in the car. Oh, son of a gun. You know what I totally almost forgot about? We have to go by the doctor's before we can get ice cream. Geez, good thing I looked at my watch. I totally forgot. I didn't totally forget. I sort of knew, but I knew if I brought it up too soon, it wasn't going to serve either one of us because you hate going to the doctor. I understand that. But me arguing with you about going to the doctor doesn't serve either one of us. So, how do I get out of habits that don't serve me? Give me something different to do. Because if I don't have something different to do, I'll use the old habit. It's just what we do. Humans are built that way.
I know, boy, is that not true?
If there's a void, we'll fill it. So if I don't want you eating so much candy, don't put it out. Put out little fruit things if you want me to do that, or little bites of watermelon if you want me to have more that's fluid, because I'm not taking in a lot of drink. And it's like, be willing to say cheers, or it's being like, well, that goes back to my behavior of curiosity. How do we change up when it's not working for us?
Well, what a gift, if your curiosity, and just thinking about legacy. I mean, you've left quite a legacy of love. So I've loved this conversation.
I've had some amazing teachers. So many people living with brain change that have so much to offer us when we pause and realize, really, I need to listen more and be aware more and try to do a little less.
Yeah. I mean, less is more. That's actually one of my favorite mottos. Yeah. And also, like, what are we really rushing to?
Sometimes holding space is one of the most important things I find I can do for someone. And when there is space, suddenly, wow, I didn't know that was all still in there. What a gift. Thanks. Yeah.
So just pipes one more time. So prepare, initiate,
seek participation. You want to get the other person, seek and see whether they'll participate with you. And then you do your evaluation. How's it going for everybody? And based on evaluation, you sustain it, or you decide what you need to switch out and try something else.
I love that. So it's a whole feedback loop, right?
It's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
How do you get yourself to really be in the moment of, this is really working? Cool. So you want to sustain it? Yeah. Well, when do you want to make the switch? It's like, oh, I'll need to prepare. Yeah. Because you're not just going to say, okay, Sarah, we're done with that. Here, let's switch gears. It's like, huh? We're switching gears. What for? I was having fun. I know, but we need to get in the car. Yeah. And so it's like, so if I don't prepare for the next thing, we finish this and it's like, now we're going from a dead stop into action. And it's like, oh, Sarah, I have a big favor. Come here. Let me show you something. Now suddenly you're up and moving because where I wanted you to go was the bathroom. But if you're sitting in a chair and I say, let's go to the bathroom, I don't need to go right now. I just went. No, you didn't. It's been a couple hours. No, it hasn't. I just went. No, you didn't. It's been, and this is where that contentious thing can happen, because my keeping up with the passage of time is very different than yours. It's like, yeah, you don't like going to the bathroom. But if I say, oh, Sarah, could you come help me for a second? Almost everybody, when you ask for someone to help you, will come and see. And then I say, take a look at this picture. Does it seem like it's straight or not? Look pretty good? Thank you. That's what I was wondering. And I trust your judgment. Now, you know what? We're gonna eat soon. Let's go wash our hands, because you're already up now. I'll have you do hand washing. And I'll say, while we're here, why don't you go ahead and try to use the restroom, because it's going to be a while before we're back. It's a very different approach versus trying to drag somebody up out of a chair who doesn't think they need to go. And unfortunately, for the next 20 minutes, we'll probably not be able to go because every sphincter will be slammed shut, because let go of me. Don't do that. And then you're unsuccessful. And then, of course, what happens after, the person has to go really badly because they were so upset.
Yeah, no, like, relax. Yeah.
Yeah. Cortisol is just not a happy thing. So let's not have it out there so much.
So we also have a lot of professionals that are listeners,
Mhm.
whether they're professional fiduciaries,
Yep.
you know, I have a lot of attorneys also listening in. I'm wondering, I'm going to ask you that same question, but
Mhm.
maybe from that lens,
Yeah.
what are, one or two things that you would like, for us professionals to keep in mind with serving this community?
When somebody is in essence telling you, listen, I want to stay at home. I want to be home. I don't want to go somewhere else. That's almost always the case with human beings. We want to be in a familiar, comfortable place. So when you're trying to help them build for that, what does that actually mean?
Mm.
What is home for you?
I
It's not
love
just
that.
where it is, who's around. When you say home, tell me what that involves. What about work? How do you feel about going to work? Really helping people think, because I think we have in our mind, I want to be able to stay at home. Rarely, if ever, do people mean I only want to be in this one room in my house for the rest of my life. Means I want to be able to come and go from my home. Well, where do you like to eat? In my kitchen only. Or I love to go out to restaurants. I love to go to the grocery store and I like to go to farmers markets. What is it that makes life valuable for you? So when I'm thinking of home, well, where are you going to get your food? How are you going to get that? Where are you going to get exercise? Where are you going to be able to move around? So as we're helping people plan for their lives and we're looking at their funding, I think we almost get so narrow too quickly and help people thinking, what would be the most important thing for you? A room to be in, but then a life to live? Or would it be important that that house is yours and you want everything to be in that house? Okay, wow. So you have diabetes and you've had 2 strokes and you have a 2-story house. I'm wondering what you're thinking. This is where you're like really like getting people to like be more open with their like thinking about, being curious about this thing that you guys are trying to help people do, which is okay, so this is what you want. This is your goal. Let's figure out what would either lead to that goal realistically or, wow, I hear that's what you want and what you would love. What can you live with? Because what are the key things you really care the most about? Because we may have to let go of some things. And the difference between giving up on something and letting go of something is control. Would you like to have some control? Or you want people to take it away from you because you can't have it anymore? So that's giving up on something versus the art of letting something go. Because, okay, well, I care more about this one. I'm going to let this go. And helping people with that, because I think that's hard in dementia.
It's the long goodbye, right?
It is. And you've got to let go. Are you going to be the daughter or are you going to be the hands on care partner? Because hands on care partners, sometimes you got to let go of being that in that daughter mode or the granddaughter mode frequently in those moments because it's about their support and their care, not about the granddaughter thing. That's a different time sometimes. How do you balance that?
Teepa, you've brought so much wisdom to my life, to this podcast, to our listeners. I just want to say a big heartfelt thank you for being here, for your generosity, your spirit, your approach.
Made a lot of mistakes. But the good thing about mistakes is they help you see what's possible on the other side, not giving up, but letting go of being perfect and realizing it's an experiment in living and live to the fullest.
well, well, that's a perfect place to end.
Thanks.